Hello everyone, this is Glowstick Gabe here, back on the channel. As I said in the last video, we are going to dig a little bit more into the environmental score today. So, we are in the help menu here. We are going to take a look at this and tell you guys some stuff I have figured out in my testing of PF the past week or so. Whether you are growing crops in an environmentally friendly and sustainable way. There is a total score for your farm across all your fields, and you can also obtain the score for each field. Scores are shown in your precision farming menu. This score directly affects crop value in the game. The maximum score of 100 will increase the price you get for your crop by 15%. Be aware, there is also a penalty for having a low score. Like I said, if you zoom into your map, you'll see a score for each field. You can then check which fields need better management to raise your total environmental score. If you want to know how to zoom in and out of the map to see these scores, what you have to do, make sure you watch my previous precision farming video. I showed you how to do that thing. Now we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of this. What you need to do, what performs the best, how you can get the best score, and how you can wind up lowering your score instead of raising it. The first thing on this list is nitrogen. Nitrogen will change depending on fertilization. The maximum score you can get is 30, which can only be reached if you use the manure sensor for organic fertilization and the crop sensor for the mineral fertilization application. Over-fertilization will decrease the score because the excessive nitrogen will be washed out and can pollute the groundwater. Under-fertilization also decreases the score because you won't reach the full yield potential, so that the crop takes less CO2 out of the atmosphere. The nitrogen score will only be updated after the harvest. Next is pH, which is your lime. Keep your pH value in the right range to gain the full points. Maintaining an optimal pH is a prerequisite for sustainable farming. Only with that you reach the full yield potential and the soil has the right balance for nutrient storage and mineralization. Too high or too low pH will decrease the score. The pH score gets updated after the harvest. Next is weeds. I personally don't play with weeds, but if you do, here is what you have to know. And I am not sure yet. I will update you in a future video. I'm not sure that if you don't use weeds, if you just get dinged 30% or not. If you know, let me know in the comments. If not, like I said, I will let you guys know in a future video. Full score 30 is reached while using the spot spray technology. With that, you perfectly control your weeds with the minimal usage of herbicides and reach the optimal yield. You can also collect points for mechanical weed control, but the score is lower at 20. Because this leads to soil compaction, erosion, new weed germination, loss of soil moisture, and higher fuel usage. 15 points are collected when you spray the whole field, which leads to the full yield but without herbicide reduction. If you don't control your weeds at all, you get the lowest score 10 because this has a very negative impact on yield and increases the long-term yield pressure. This is not helpful to feed the growing world population. This is where I get confused because with PF you still have the option to turn weeds off. So does that mean that you get the lowest score of 10? Or does it not get affected? You know what I mean? Like if you have weeds off, can you still potentially get the 100% environmental score? I still have to do some playing around with that. But yeah, so this is what this is. This is a really easy way to earn points on your score in a positive way. This next one, soil sampling. Sampling your fields to know the nutrient status of the soil is the basis for sustainable farming. So soil sampling increases your score by 15 points. Which means before you do anything else to the field, all you have to do is soil sample, you get 15 points. Now, this next one is tillage. I have I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna make a couple of comments. Tillage also affects your environmental score. Deep tillage like plowing burns a lot of fuel, brings weed seeds near the soil surface, and makes the soil susceptible to erosion. So plowing attracts 0 points. Shallow tillage with the incorporation of crop residues saves fuel, reduces erosion, and is rewarded with 5 points. Minimal tillage and direct seeding give the maximum score of 10 points. Okay, so what this means is if you plow, you don't get any points. But here's the thing. You plow, you get stone. If you shallow cultivate, you don't get stone. So the question in my mind arises, and you have to decide, do you want more stones so that you can make them into lime, or do you want to go the route of shallow cultivating, or maybe direct drilling and get more of a environmental score? Let me know your thoughts on that. That will be the end of this one. If you have not, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. In the next video, I will be telling you guys how to get the maximum pH on your fields every time. Later.